Welcome everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about the first part of the Fourier analysis, that is periodic functions. So what are periodic functions? The definition which we are going to assume is this. So the definition is as following. A function f of x is called periodic. So essentially you are looking at a R2R function. It's called periodic. It's called periodic function if f is defined for all x in R. If f of x is defined for all x in R, of course you can throw out a finite number of points, yes, but other than that it has to be defined everywhere. And moreover, and if, this is very important, okay, if there exists, so I will put it this way, there exists, so this sign means there exists. Is it okay? There exists p is the period. We'll call this a period of the function, and this has to be always positive. We'll assume it is strictly positive. So p, so we'll call this called the period of f, the period of f such that what do we need is f of x plus p equals to f of x. This should hold for all x in R. So what do I mean by this? What I meant is essentially after p interval. So basically what I'm trying to say is this: if you're starting from x and let's say x and you end up with x plus p, right? The value of the function at the point x and the value at the point x plus p has to be same. So whatever it does here does not really matter, but at these 2 points it has to be same, and this should hold for all x in R. Yes, that is important. This should hold for all x in R. So let us take up some examples of what periodic functions look like. So of course you do realize that your sines and cosines are always going to be periodic, right? So let's say f of x equals to sine x, or let's say cosine x. Yeah, they are periodic functions. Periodic functions. Okay, what do I mean by this? See, if you have f of x plus 2 pi, you do realize that after 2 pi, this function, they actually repeat itself, right? So essentially, if you replace x with x plus 2 pi, then you do realize what is going to happen. Sine of x plus 2 pi is again sine of x, which is essentially f of x. And this holds for all x in R, right? So you see, sine x is a periodic function. And similarly, you can also show cosine is a periodic function. Now, note, see here, if I am doing x plus 4 pi, then also I will end up with a sine of x, so which will be f of x. Okay, so in this case 2 pi is also a period, and again 4 pi is also a period. So what's going on here? So nothing is going on. Essentially what happens is period of a function may not be a unique number. So essentially it will actually, since the function is basically copying itself in a certain interval, okay, it will not be unique. And the smallest possible period, so let me make a small definition here. So, but there will be a smallest possible period, right? So the smallest possible period, so in this case, the earlier case of sine or cosine, that will be 2 pi, the smallest possible positive period. We'll call it a fundamental period. It's called fundamental period. And all future references, whenever we are talking about a period, we will be talking about fundamental period. It's called the fundamental period of the function f. Fundamental period of f. I hope this is clear. Okay. So this holds for all x in R. Now, so what do we have? You have a periodic functions if f of x plus p equals to f of x for all x in P, and P is called period. Of course, if P is the period, 2P is also going to be period, right? So, and similarly, so again, this is a small exercise. So please look at this thing. So let's say that if P is a period of f, then NP, yes. So what I mean is f of x plus np is also going to be f of x. Okay, so np is also a period, right? And this is for all n equals to 1 to all natural numbers essentially. Yes. So how do you prove it? So for 2, let's say if you want to show it for n equals to 2, let's say, yeah, n equals to 2, just a small hint, let me give you n equals to 2. See, f of x plus 2p, you can write it as f of x plus p, right? You can put it like this. Now you see, since it is of period p, x plus p will be acting at x here, so it will be f of x plus p, which again in turn becomes f of x. So for all x in R. So basically you see f of x plus p equals to f of x for all x in R, and hence you can also show that this is true for any n in the similar manner. So please do that. Okay. So we have looked at two functions, sin x and cosine x, which are periodic functions. Now there are some things which I clarify here in the definition itself. Yes. Now please note another small note. Here I have defined the function from R to R, right? Now the thing is, it may not be always defined for all x in R. Yes. So let's say as an example, let f of x equals to tan x, right? Now you see, this function is a periodic function. Yes, you can actually show this, and I am leaving it out for now. Yes, you can please check this part that it is a periodic function. It's very easy to check. It's a periodic function. Yes, but is not defined, but definitely is not defined for all x, right? Defined for all x in R. Yes. So there are like infinitely many numbers, I mean, of course countable, but infinitely many points where it is not defined. You do realize that is at x equals to plus minus pi by 2, and any, I mean, plus minus 3 pi by 2 and all those numbers, right? So you do realize that all those points, the function tan is not defined, but still it is a periodic function. Yes. So that can happen. So please keep that in mind. Okay. So with that being taken care of, there is some other examples we can do. So let's look at another example. So let's say what happens to other fundamental functions. See, the sines and cosines, these are the trigonometric functions. Yes. So we can show that they are going to be periodic function. And I just stated that tan is a periodic function in itself. Okay. What about other functions? Let's say another function is, let's say, x power n. Yeah. Let's say n is in natural number n. Now you can show that it is not periodic, because if it is periodic, then f of x plus p. So see, if f is periodic, then f x plus p whole power n has to be equals to x power n for all x in R. Yeah. And you do realize, and there should be a p positive, right? So this is not possible, right? This is not possible. So it can't be periodic. And of course, another very, very important function which we know, a fundamental function, is exponential of x. Yeah. X is in R, of course. And you do realize that, let's say it is periodic of period p, right? So in this case, f of x plus p has to be equals to f of x. Yeah. So in this case, which will imply that e power x plus p, which is e power x times e power p, which is equals to e power x. This should hold for all x in R. But if this holds, then that will imply that, see, exponential is always positive, right? So you can cancel exponential x and exponential x from both sides. So exponential p has to be 1, which will imply p has to be equals to 0. But that can't be period because p has, the definition of period is it's a real number which is positive. So this is again not periodic. Okay, right. So with that being taken care of, let's look at some more property of periodic function. Yes. So one property of a periodic function, property A. So let's say that we start with A and B are real numbers. Okay, numbers, and F and G are p-periodic. P-periodic means these are periodic function with the fundamental period being p. Okay, so the fundamental period of both the functions is given by p. Fundamental period is p. That is what it means for a function to be p-periodic. This is just a short way of saying this. Right. Now, if that happens, then if you define AF plus BG, a new function A plus BG acting at x, you define it like this: A f of x plus B g of x. If one defines it like this, then this is also p-periodic. Yeah. So this is a very important property of a periodic function. Yes. Now the whole point of trying to understand periodic function is essentially we want to talk about when is we can represent. So now the question is this question: why we are studying periodic functions? Because in Fourier series, the whole aim of Fourier series is to represent okay, any function, and not any function, but let's just think of it as most of the functions. Okay, I will specify what sort of functions, but for now represent, let me put it this way: any function. Yeah, this any is questionable, but we'll talk about it later. Any function in terms of the two periodic function, these functions. Okay, so let's say sine and cosine. So basically we want to talk about whether these are periodic functions. So basically sine nx and cosine nx, if we can write f in terms of sine and cosine. Yeah, in terms of sine nx and cosine nx and cosine nx. So basically some combinations of these two periodic functions, can we write any function in terms of this? That's the question, and in the next video we are going to talk about that. Thank you.